So we're gonna have a short little recount about Vila Real. Vila Real de Santo Antonio. That's important because there is a Vila Real as well in Portugal. It means the royal town. So this is the royal town of Santo Antonio, the Saint Antonio. And it's not that old, that city. It was constructed in 1776, in only 2 years, in the same fashion as Lisbon was built after the big earthquake in 1755. Before that, Casella was the main city in the region, which is the very east of Algarve. And the only other important city in the area was Marim, which was a defensive city with actually 2 castles still standing, very much in ruins today, but open for visitors. I recommend the visit. The special thing with Vila Real was that it created in a grid system, just like Lisbon, which was very modern at that time. And no one is really sure why this decision of building the city came about. Maybe it was to show a modern, healthy face towards Spain, to entice more people to move into the area, to protect the country from invasion. However, also after the big earthquake, Casella had been damaged, and the economy in Casella went down quite soon after this, and people moved out from there. Having Vila Real de Santo Antonio in place helped to balance that loss. What happened in the new city was that they became very successful in canning fish, and that became actually the first city to start the now famous canning industry of Portuguese tuna in the country. After this, the city turned into tourism in around the 1960s, when the tuna industry lost its economic power. And that was quite easy because in this region some of the best beaches in Europe and actually the world can be found. They are miles and miles long, full of beautiful golden sand, and it's very shallow waters, so it's a very safe and easy place to swim and bath. Today, what can be said about Vila Real is that it has become a little bit of a cultural hot pool when it comes to creation of authors and artists and so on. And there are many well-known names coming out of Vila Real. And there is actually one of the bigger football managers are also coming from this city. Now, everything happening out of this city is pretty astonishing, considering that they are just about 20,000 people living in the city. We will show a few pictures where we go through town. It's not a lot of famous buildings and so on in this city, because it is, like I said, quite modern. The interesting thing is they kept the style, so the buildings you see is very much as they were when they were built. Now, the way they built these buildings are also quite astonishing. It wasn't built on site. It was prefabricated outside the city, brought in by transport, and simply just lifted up. So the full city was built in 2 years. Now, we are talking 1774 when they started construction, and they completed construction in 1776. Well done, Portugal. And the new marina was completed in 1998, and it now have enough space for about 350 boats, and it's all safe for the tidal water, which can vary roughly 3 meters from low to high. Another thing with Vila Real, which was very early on and modern, was when gas lighting was installed. It was the first city in Algarve that actually got gas lighting installed back in 1884. The shopping street in Vila Real de Santo Antonio is basically one. There are a few side streets, but they don't at all have so much to offer as that one central street. So you go from the central plaza or plaza, passing away from the marina, right past the church, and down towards the end at the other side of the city. And there is basically where all the fashion shops and everything is available. There are a few cafes distributed around this area, and some restaurants, which of course offers marine dishes and some delicious barbecue food.
Traditional.
No, we don't say that. We haven't tried it. We don't have a traditional.
I did.
You did? Okay. Too late.
And talk about the sunset.
The location of this city is facing to the east along the river, but it's also very open towards the south and the west. So when you stand nearby the marina early in the morning, you will have a sunrise over the boats, over the sailboats in the marina. It's a beautiful sight. And you will of course have a fiery sunset over to the west, which is not of course by the water, since the water is down to the south, and it's actually a kilometer and something down to the beach from Santo Antonio. Vila Real Santo Antonio is placed a little bit like in the top bit of a triangle, since the shore is down there turning a little bit south. So the distance can seem being far. Recommended having a bicycle to walk down to the beach. But the sunset is not over the water, it will be over land. But because of the very flat land in this area of Portugal, it's a beautiful sunset. I don't remember the name. If you are going to visit this area of Portugal, we recommend that you come here in the end of April until the beginning of November. You will be able to swim in the water already from around the mid to end of May, and it will be reasonably warm. It will then heat up and it will reach its peak in the end of in the end of August and the beginning of September, and then it will stay warm and good for swimming until November. So there is a long season for tourists. Don't come too early. The spring will be a little bit chilly, there will be some rain, but during the summer season, which basically starts in the end of May up until October, you will have no rain, beautiful sunshine, and very nice areas. August is the most busy month to be here, so can you avoid the August? Better for you. Now, when we came here in December, and we stayed at a very nice, simple hotel. It's a lady that don't bend for anything, so even through the COVID, she kept open. It's a very nice place. They have also family rooms, and we definitely recommend this for backpackers that want to come down, have a decent place to stay, simple, but just by the marina with a beautiful view to the sunset in the morning, sunrise in the morning. The bad thing is there is a pretty wide river in between. The good thing is there is a ferry crossing this river, and it goes quite often from early day to early evening. So roughly about 9-10 o'clock in the morning you will find a ferry. They will be crossing every half hour to every hour depending on time of the day and the season. The best way to check this is to contact the company. We will put a link down below so you can see how to contact them, or you can send them a WhatsApp message and they will post back the current schedule. The price for the crossing will be about €1.80 or something like this per person. It's really cheap, or maybe it's €1.90.
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely worth it. The crossing takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It's a fairly large boat. If you have bicycles or motorbikes, it easily takes them along as well.